जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 14, First Shloka. Sūta uvāca samprasthite dvārakāyāṁ jiṣṇau bandhu-didṛkṣayā jñātuṁ ca puṇya-ślokasya kṛṣṇasya ca viceṣṭitam Sūta uvāca samprasthite dvārakāyāṁ jiṣṇau bandhu-didṛkṣayā jñātuṁ ca puṇya-ślokasya kṛṣṇasya ca viceṣṭitam Sūta uvāca samprasthite dvārakāyāṁ jiṣṇau bandhu-didṛkṣayā jñātuṁ ca puṇya-ślokasya kṛṣṇasya viceṣṭitam Sūta uvāca samprasthite dvārakāyāṁ jiṣṇau bandhu-didṛkṣayā jñātuṁ ca puṇya-ślokasya samprasthite dvārakāyāṁ jiṣṇau bandhu-didṛkṣayā jñātuṁ ca puṇya-ślokasya kṛṣṇasya viceṣṭitam. samprasthite dvārakāyāṁ jiṣṇau bandhu-didṛkṣayā jñātuṁ ca puṇya-ślokasya kṛṣṇasya viceṣṭitam. Sūta uvāca samprasthite dvārakāyāṁ jiṣṇau bandhu-didṛkṣayā jñātuṁ ca puṇya-ślokasya kṛṣṇasya viceṣṭitam. Sūta uvāca. Śrī Sūta Gosvāmī said, samprasthite, having gone to Dvārakāyāṁ, the city of Dvārakā, jiṣṇau, Arjuna, bandhu, friends and relatives, didṛkṣayā, for meeting them, jñātum, to know, ca, also, puṇya-ślokasya, one whose glories are sung by Vedic hymns, kṛṣṇasya, of Lord Kṛṣṇa, ca, and viceṣṭitam, further programs of work. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Śrī Sūta Gosvāmī said, Arjuna went to Dvārakā to see Lord Kṛṣṇa and other friends and also to learn from the Lord of his next activities. Śrī Sūta Gosvāmī said, Arjuna went to Dvārakā to see Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa and other friends and also to learn from the Lord of his next activities. Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord descended on earth for the protection of the faithful and annihilation of the impious. So after the battle of Kurukshetra and establishment of Maharaj Yudhishthir, the mission of the Lord was complete. The Pandavas, especially Shri Arjuna, were eternal companion of the Lord, and therefore Arjuna went to Dvārakā to hear from the Lord of his next program of work. Jai. Om Jnānatimirandasya Jnānanjana-śalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamsha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namne Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratuse Nama. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Stute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I'm speaking after a long time and I'm feeling a little nervous also because this Vyasasana is too high for me and I feel I'm not eligible to sit on this. So today we'll be discussing the 14th chapter, but before I seek blessings from all the Vaishnavas, especially His Grace Ganesh Thakur Prabhu, for allowing me to speak. Please pray that whatever I speak is in parampara and I speak whatever is pleasing to the devotees and I don't speak beyond my realization, and if I speak, please forgive me. So today we are on chapter 14th of the first canto, titled Disappearance of Lord Kṛṣṇa. And this whole chapter we'll be discussing how Yudhishthira Maharaj is actually anticipating bad omens. I mean, not anticipating, he's seeing bad omens and he feels that this is very inauspicious and there is something terrible going to happen. But if you read, I was just going through the entire chapter, and if I'm reading few shlokas, it looks so normal that is happening in our day-to-day life now. You know, that brothers will be fighting, daily activities will be done by cheating. It looks so normal. Lekin Yudhishthira Maharaj ke time pe ye sab, it was inauspicious. It was not very, something that was, something that is to be done on a daily basis. So, this particular chapter is about disappearance of Lord Kṛṣṇa. So, my whole talk will be about 5 reasons why Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa disappeared and why he disappeared the way he disappeared. And why we need to understand that, because Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam. My activities and my janma are transcendental. And those who understand what happens, punarjanma naiti. There is no punarjanma for the ones who understand my activities to be transcendental. So it is very difficult to understand actually. Once Srila Prabhupada, Giriraj Maharaj writes that once Srila Prabhupada came and he gave and they were doing morning prayers in Srila Prabhupada's room. And after the morning prayer, Srila Prabhupada asked everybody, what is the main reason that Śrī Kṛṣṇa descended in this world? And everybody started giving their own answers. And Dinanath Prabhu then spoke that Srila Prabhupada, Krishna came to please his devotees. And Srila Prabhupada said, yes, your answer is right. Because for all other things, Krishna can send his representatives. If he wants to kill the demons, he can send his representatives. But to please his own devotees, he has to personally come down. And then Srila Prabhupada said, Dinanath Prabhu, you are liberated. And then everybody said, why? What happened? He said, Janma karma cha de me divyam. Those who understand my transcendental activities, then they are to be liberated. So Dinanath Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada said, Dinanath Prabhu, because you have understood the main reason of Krishna's descent, you are liberated. So similarly, we'll try to understand the disappearance of Lord Kṛṣṇa in this particular activity. And it is very difficult actually to comprehend why Krishna left the way he left. And there is a very stark parallel. I mean, we can see those activities happening in our day-to-day life, and then we may think, oh, Krishna, how come Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, left his body just by an arrow piercing the foot? एक तो first तो why he has to leave this planet? Is this the same Supreme Personality of Godhead who went to Yamraj to get the sons of Sandipani Muni, because he was able to get dead sons back? Then how come he is dying? Even he went and brought the dead sons of one Brahmana. He and Arjuna went to Mahavishnu to get the dead sons of Brahmana. So he who can get people who are dead back, how can he die? First question may come like that. Second question may arise that, how can Krishna एक just arrow से अपने foot पे arrow घुसा, तो how can he die? Usually we know that, arrow on a foot or on a hand cannot kill a person. It can wound a person, but it cannot kill a person unless it is anointed with poison and everything. But so how can he leave this planet just by an arrow piercing his foot? So we will try to understand these pastime. So there are 5 reasons, and if time permits, we'll go through all the 5 reasons, or we'll go at least through 4 reasons. So we always understand, the appearance and disappearance of Lord Kṛṣṇa as rising of the sun and setting of the sun. And when the sun sets, the sun is bound to rise. But actually, when the sun sets, even after the sun sets, the sun is still present. That we know theoretically, but even practically, if you see, the sun is present in form of, in the night, how is the sun present? In the form of moonlight, in the stars. They are actually able to emit their light because the sun is reflecting on them, and that is why they are able to emit their light. So the sun is still present in form of moonlight. Similarly, when Krishna descends this, when Krishna leaves this planet, he is still present in form of his holy name, because the potency is the same of Krishna being in the world, and in the form of holy name, the potency still remains. The same way that the potency of sunlight is there in form of moonlight, the potency of Krishna is there, even after he leaves this planet in form of holy name and Srimad Bhagavatam. So we will try to analyze these 5 reasons of why Krishna lives the way he lives, and if we are able to understand, maybe we may become little eligible to move towards liberation. Not liberation, but at least towards the love of Godhead. The first reason is, the Yadu dynasty was cursed by the sages. So what had happened? Krishna had 16,108 wives, out of which, principal 8 wives were Rukmani, Satyabhama, Jambavati, Bhadra, etc. There were 8 principal wives of Krishna. And Jambavati and Krishna gave birth to a son called Samba. And Samba was actually disguised they played prank on Samba. He was made to look like a pregnant lady. And he was covered with a sari. His whole face was covered with a sari. And then they saw sages coming. Sages aa rahe the. And उन्होंने सेज को रुकाया और बोला, "Oh sages, you are Trikal Gyani. You know the past, present and future. Please predict this pregnant lady, whether it will give birth to a boy or a girl." And the sages were very, they knew what was happening. They were playing a prank. And among all the sages, there was Durvasa Muni. So they were trying to play a prank on Durvasa Muni. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, actually we will try to learn some lessons from these pastimes also. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments on this is that it is not okay to cut jokes with your superior, especially with a person who is spiritually superior to you. When you try to cut jokes with a person, it means that you are either at the same level or you are at an upper level than the person below you. So it is an etiquette not to cut jokes. Even if the superior is cutting jokes on you, you should not retaliate back and cut jokes on your superior, with your superior. It shows that you are not in dasya bhav, but you are in, sakhya bhav. So it is very important that one should not cut jokes with your superior. So, Here, there are many other pastimes where, Durvasa Muni gets very angry if some jokes are cut on him. Like once, even in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Leela, in Chaitanya Bhagavat, there is a episode where one boy, he sees Durvasa Muni meditating in deep meditation, and he's saying, oh, Durvasa Muni is like a stone, he does not even open his eyes. So he goes and cuts the beard of Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni curses him, and he says, you want to cut, you have a sadist pleasure of cutting into everybody's body, you become a crocodile. So he was cursed to become a crocodile, and that boy was saying, oh, I was just playing a prank, I'm a small boy, please forgive me. I'm just, don't give me such, bold shrap for this. Bolte, okay, because you are asking for forgiveness, you will be born in the river Ganga, in the holy river Ganga, and you will be liberated when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu were doing kirtan on the banks of Ganga river, the crocodile suddenly touched the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as soon as the crocodile touched the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he turned into the beautiful boy. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was amazed. How come are you a crocodile or are you a boy? If you are a boy, how did you become a crocodile? And if you are a crocodile, how did you become a boy? And the boy narrates the whole story, how he was cursed by Durvasa Muni. So it is not okay to cut jokes onto seniors. And over here, the boys, cut jokes on a very, very grave and serious Muni, which is Durvasa Muni. So Durvasa Muni cursed the boys that there will be an iron lump born of this boy, and that will be the reason of destruction of the entire Yadu dynasty. And Yadu dynasty में कौन आता है? कृष्ण भी आते हैं. Okay, so Yadu dynasty में कृष्ण भी आते हैं. So just to fulfill that curse of Durvasa Muni, Krishna had to leave. So the boys actually become very afraid, and they said, what to do now? They run towards Ugrasen, and Ugrasen tells them, don't worry, you file. Actually, it said, I think, Bhala, a big lump of iron was born, and Ugrasen says, you file this iron piece and throw it in the sea, and whatever is left, whatever cannot be filed, that also you throw it in the sea. And the boys do that, and it is thrown in the sea. As soon as the boys do that, bad omens start playing, hovering around their entire Dvāraka. And it so happened that the Yadus, they actually greeted the sages for a big feast, and after the feast, they partook their prasad, Mahaprasad, and then they even drank some intoxication. So because of this intoxication, there was a small argument that happened. And this small argument that happened led to a big argument, and then it led to a fire. It snowballed. Basically, a small snowball was becoming bigger and bigger. And they were fighting with each other, kicking each other, blowing at each other. And the fight reached to such a stage, they were looking for weapons to kill each other. And then they went to the seashore, where to find some weapons, and there they found these iron filings. They had grown into a blade of grasses, and they were so sharp. Sometimes even by this paper blade you can get cut. Sometimes if the paper is very sharp, you can get these blade of grasses. They took and they stabbed each other, and entire Kuru dynasty was destroyed that way. So just to fulfill the curse of Durvasa Muni, Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa decided to leave. So that was the first reason. Now this iron piece that was left, what happened to that? So this iron piece was swallowed by a fish, and the fish was, a fisherman took out that fish. And when he opened the fish, he saw this iron piece, and he didn't need this iron piece. तो उसने क्या किया? उसका एक फ्रेंड था, हंटर. That hunter took the iron piece and made a sharp arrow from that iron piece. And with that arrow, when he was in Prabhas, actually Lord Krishna went to Prabhas and from there he left to the spiritual world. So when Lord Krishna was in Prabhas, he was sitting under a banyan tree with his left foot down and right foot on top of it, and he was resting. And that image, actually his right foot on his thigh, on his left thigh, gave an indication of as if it's looking like a deer. So this hunter, he pulled his arrow behind, he was hiding behind the tree. He pulled his arrow and shot at Krishna's feet, thinking that to be a deer. And the moment it pierced Lord Krishna's foot, Lord Krishna was very calm. He was very calm and peaceful. And when the hunter went towards Lord Krishna, he saw what he had done and he was pleading for mercy. He said, "Oh, I committed a big mistake. I've shot an arrow on your feet. I thought it is a deer. Please forgive me." But Lord Krishna was very calm and he said, "Don't worry, this is as per my plan." And then he narrated a story to the hunter. So that story is the second reason. So what happened is, during Ramayana, we heard from Shubhavilas Prabhu also, very nice pastimes that happened in Ramayana. So Vali and Sugriv were against each other. Vali had actually taken his wife, Sugriv's wife, because of some misunderstanding. And he had kicked out Vali from his kingdom. And Vali wanted to get his wife. So Vali made an arrangement with Lord Shri Ram, saying that, "I will help you find your wife. You get my wife also from Vali and the kingdom. He has taken my wife. He has usurped the kingdom and my wife." So Lord Shri Ram agreed. And he said, "Okay, you go. And you call Vali for a fight. And while you are fighting, I will shoot an arrow on Vali." So Sugriv was very happy. He was backed by Lord Shri Ram. So he went and called, "Vali, come back, come here. I want to have a fight with you." Not knowing that Vali, he knew actually that Vali was much stronger than him. In fact, Vali had a boon that with whomever he fights, he gets 10 times the strength of the other person. But still he called him for a fight. And Vali thinking, "Oh, you stupid guy. You are calling me for a fight. I'll just crush you in minutes." And he started fighting and he was crushing Sugriv in like no time. And Sugriv was looking for Lord Ramchandra here and there, saying, "Why is Lord Ram not shooting the arrow?" And then he went back to Lord Ramchandra and he said, "What are you doing? Why are you letting me die in the hands of Vali?" Lord Ramchandra said, "You both brothers look alike. I couldn't make out whether you are Vali or whether you are Sugriv." And he asked Lakshman to garland Vali, saying that now I will be able to identify. And Sugriv was very smart. He said, "Lord, you know everyone's heart. You know each and everybody. You know who is present and you don't need to have a garland to identify me. Why this? Why did you allow me to, die, get beaten up in the hands of Vali?" Then Lord Ramchandra, again a lesson over here. Lord Ramchandra said that, when I and Lakshmana came to take help from you, you made me sit on an asan, but you made Lakshmana stand. I represent the Bhagavat, I represent the Bhagavat Tattva, and Lakshmana represents the Guru Tattva. You created an offense against Guru Tattva. You made Lakshmana stand. So you had to undergo this, beating because of the Guru Aparadh that you did against Lakshmana. And now, but that was still not over. You needed Guru's mercy also to be saved. So by Lakshmana garlanding you, now you have received Guru's mercy. So now you will be saved. And he said, "Now you go and I will shoot an arrow." So he went back and Lord Ramchandra actually hid behind a tree and shot arrow on Vali. And Vali actually, the arrow pierced his chest and he was dying. But it did not move him, he did not fly off like a mosquito. He was able to resist the arrow of Lord Sri Ramchandra. And then he saw on the arrow, it was written, Ayodhyapati Shri Ram, Dashrath Nandan Shri Ram. And he was screaming, oh Lord Ram, you are over here and I was seeking to see you since a long time. But why did you kill me like this, like a coward? Why did you hide behind a tree and you are shooting arrow at me? And then Lord Ramchandra came and said, oh Vali, you think you are a pious person, but you usurped the wife of Sugriv. And as per Shastras, anybody who takes away the wife of somebody has to be killed. So as a citizen or as a representative of the king, I shot an arrow on you and you died. Then Sugriv said, no, all this is fine for humans. I am not a human. I am a vanar. I am a monkey. These laws are not applicable to monkeys. Then Lord Ramchandra replied that if you are a monkey, then I am a hunter. And a hunter has all the rights to hide behind a tree and shoot arrow. He did not follow all the norms of a human. Then Vali, hearing this, was very happy listening to Lord Ramchandra's words. And he said, may these words ever reside in my heart. And he was about to leave his body. Well, Lord Ramchandra, because he is Maryada Purushottam, he said, don't worry, Vali. I have shot you with an arrow hiding behind the tree. In my next life, you will shoot an arrow on me hiding behind the tree. So this is not like a karma effect that is applicable over here. Krishna and Lord Ramchandra are beyond karma. Just to prove, just to show to us how karma works, Lord Ramchandra performed this pastime and said, you will come as a hunter and shoot arrow on me. So the hunter shooting an arrow on Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa is actually the effect of the boon that he received in the past. So this is the second reason that why Krishna left his body the way he left his body. The third reason is like when Krishna and Rukmini, they were ruling Krishna was ruling Dvārakā, Durvasa Muni had come. And he had asked Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa and Rukmini that I will come, prepare a big feast for me. Mountains of kheer and mountains of, all the preparation should be prepared when I come for lunch. And Rukmini and Krishna performed, they actually like a ideal grahastha, they prepared nice food stuff for Durvasa Muni. But Durvasa Muni did not come. And then Krishna and Rukmini had to do food for life. They had to actually send all the preparations that they had made to everybody. And then Durvasa Muni came in the midnight and said, now I am hungry, prepare kheer for me. And then Rukmini again started preparing nice kheer for Durvasa Muni. And then when she offered it to Durvasa Muni said, no, take this kheer and divide it into two. And one portion Krishna you take and one portion Rukmini you take. And smear that kheer on your body, on all the limbs of your body. So Rukmini, like a Agyakyari, she smeared the kheer on her entire body, all her limbs. And Krishna also started doing that. And then he said, I want to take a ride. Call the chariot. So Krishna called the chariot along with Dvārakā. And Durvasa Muni said, no, keep aside Dvārakā. And remove all the horses also from here. Rukmini should actually drive me and drive the chariot for me. And they were all surprised, what is happening? And then Rukmini actually wore that thing which has to be pulled for the chariot. And she was pulling and she couldn't even move an inch. And she was trying and trying and trying. And Durvasa was very happy. And he blessed Rukmini, saying that, I bless you, I am very pleased with you, with your efforts. I bless you. The kheer that you spread on all over your body, entire body will become invincible. But Krishna, you spread on all your body except for your foot. So that foot will be vulnerable. All the rest of your bodies will be invincible, but your foot will be vulnerable to, something can happen to your foot. So that is why Krishna chose the foot to be pierced and not any other part of his body. So that is the third reason why Krishna chose to leave by piercing the arrow on the foot. The fourth reason is, after the सब महाभारत war हो गया, सब हो गया, बाद में like all the demigods, they came to Lord Krishna and they said that we had requested you to descend and all the work that we had to be got done from you has been completed. You killed Kamsa, all the earth is now very happy, the Mother Earth is very happy. And if you want to leave, you can go back to your kingdom. So this is the fourth reason that fourth reason that Krishna decided to leave. Now the fifth reason and the most important reason why Krishna decided to leave. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a very beautiful story in his commentary on Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam. There Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that this is a story, but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that once there was a king, very opulent king, and that kingdom was very happy. And in that kingdom, there was a king and a queen, and they used to call various artists every week. One day they will call a singer, second day they will call a dancer. Once they happened to call a magician. And the magician came with his whole family, wife and children. And then magician came with a mridanga. And then the wife actually stood on a tight rope, two ropes, two stands and a rope tied. And she started dancing on the rope. The magician will play fast beat, the wife will dance on the rope on a very fast beat. The magician will slow down and she will slow down her dance. So the king and queen, looking at this feat, were very happy. And immediately the queen removed her necklace, diamond necklace, and gave it to the wife of the magician. And the king removed his golden necklace and gave it to the magician. And the two boys, the sons of the magician, they saw it. And they went to their parents. One went to the mother, one went to the father. And they said, I want the necklace, I want the necklace. And they were fighting with their mother and father for the necklace. So the boy who was with the mother, he was able to grab the necklace. And mother also said, okay, let him take, what to do. These boys are like that. So he was able to grab the necklace and he wore it around his neck. And the other boy thought, rather than taking the necklace from my father, it's easy to take the necklace from my brother. So he went and fought and was fighting to get the necklace from his brother. And while they were fighting, they became so fearful. They started hitting each other, beating each other. And ultimately they killed each other for the necklace. And there was a pool of blood lying. And the magician and the wife, when they saw this, he said, what is the use of our staying alive when our children had died? So they also slit their throat and they died over there. And the whole floor was lying with 4 bodies, dead bodies, and a pool of blood. And the king and the queen and the entire assembly were aghast. What is happening? We were come here to see a magic show, but here we are seeing a deadly show. Everybody is dead. And they asked their soldiers to remove the bodies and clean the floor and everything. And they were very upset with the whole episode. And then 1 week later, the king receives a letter. And the letter says, you paid us for the first act, but you did not pay us for the second act. It was a letter from the magician. And he said that, we are all alive, hale and hearty, and we are fine. If you want, you can come to our house and see. And the king with his entire troop went back to the kingdom, to this house. And he saw the children playing in the garden. And he saw his wife was cooking in the kitchen. And he was welcoming at the door. The magician was welcoming everybody at the door. So it looked as if the magician had died. He had created a magic effect on the people. So if such a worldly person can create such an effect on the person, what about the supreme magician who is Supreme Personality of Godhead? So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives this example to tell us that Krishna created a magic show over there. Actually, even in recent times, PC Sarkar had done a similar magic to one Britisher, where the Britisher wanted to see a magic show during his tea time, 4 to 6. And PC Sarkar came at 5 o'clock, and the Britishers were furious. And he was like screaming and shouting when PC Sarkar came at 5 o'clock. And then when he came, he said, you know, our time is so precious, you came 1 hour late. And he said, PC Sarkar said, my magic has already started. Look at your watch again. And it was 4:01. So he created an illusion of 1 hour in 1 minute. So similarly, Krishna uses, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur uses the word kritim. Kritim is like make believe. Something which has not happened, but you tend to believe it as true. It has really happened. And Jiva Goswami also comments, and Srila Prabhupada comments in one of the purport in 3rd canto, that this particular episode of Krishna is actually a big magic show. So this was a magic show created by Krishna to leave this world. In fact, I just remember while I was saying this, that one of the learnings from earlier pastime of not cutting jokes is that sometimes in the same episode, there was a pastime of Uddhav and Maitreya Muni. So when Shri Krishna was in Prabhas, Uddhav was sent to Bhadrika because Krishna didn't want to see Uddhav. He didn't want Uddhav to see his leaving. So Uddhav was sent to Bhadrika, but by some reason Uddhav came back. And at that time Maitreya Muni also came to the same forest where Krishna was there. And Krishna gave them the topmost knowledge to both Uddhav and Maitreya Muni, and then left the world. And when Uddhav and Maitreya Muni went back, Vidura met Uddhav. And Vidura inquired about Lord Kṛṣṇa from Uddhav, and Uddhav gave the entire story about how Lord Kṛṣṇa left this planet and how he enlightened both Uddhav and Maitreya Muni. And Vidura was so keen to receive that knowledge from Uddhav that he requested, oh please, oh sage, those who are roaming around in the world, the sages who are roaming around the world are roaming because to uplift people like us. Please impart that knowledge. Actually, Vidura wanted Uddhav to be his guru and Vidur to become his disciple. But at that point in time, Uddhav says, no, Maitreya Muni is also here only. Please go and take instructions from him. And Srila Prabhupada writes a beautiful purport in that particular shloka in 3rd canto. And His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj gives a very elaborate lecture on that, saying that how etiquette should be followed, that when a senior is nearby, one should not try to instruct anybody or give initiation, or even, sometimes we are very eager. Sometimes, some devotees ask questions. Even if we have a senior present in front of us, we want to show our knowledge. I know this knowledge. And I am making that same mistake, that is called Maryada Vyatikrama. In front of His Grace Kanai Thakur Prabhu, I am trying to speak. So that is Maryada Vyatikrama. Like one is trying to speak in front of when the spiritual master or spiritual superior is there. That urge should be avoided. Like I had that urge long time back, and when I heard this lecture of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, it really affected my consciousness, and I'm trying to follow that, saying that this urge of talking in and bypassing seniors when the seniors are already present. Imagine somebody wanting to become your counselor, and he's trying to come, and you say, no, I'm not a better counselor. You go and talk to this counselor who's a senior. That feeling will never come in me, I feel. But that is what we have to learn from this episode, that learning from these pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam, that etiquette should be followed very religiously. Otherwise, this Maryada Vyatikrama can lead to inauspiciousness. It can lead to your lifespan getting reduced. It can lead to your beauty getting reduced, your fame getting reduced. So this etiquette should be followed very nicely. So this conclusion, I'm just concluding. So there are 5 reasons of why Krishna left the way he left. The first reason was the curse of Durvasa Muni. Second reason was because the karma. Lord Ramchandra wanted to show the principle of karma through Vali, and that is why the second reason why Krishna left his body. The third reason was the curse by Durvasa Muni on Krishna. Not curse, but because Krishna did not follow his instructions, his foot was very vulnerable. Fourth reason is because of the demigods headed by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. They requested that now your pastimes have been completed, you can please leave. So that was the fourth reason why Krishna left. And the fifth reason, which is the most important in my opinion, is it is a make-believe pastime. It has not happened, but it is like a magic show that happened. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says it is kritim. It is a make-believe pastime that happened. So Krishna left because of this particular reason. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.